welcome into Laying Down the Law, presented by the Orlando Law Group. The answers provided by the show do not constitute actual legal advice. Do not create an attorney-client relationship. For legal advice, please call the Orlando Law Group's office at 407-512-4394. That's 407-512-4394, and also online at theorlandolawgroup.com. Our guest on today's show is Sonia Narvaez, President and CEO at CPA and Accounting and Tax Services, located right here in Orlando. And, of course, Jennifer Englert with us as always.
How about your car? Like, especially a lot of people use their car, like if you're doing Shift or Uber or any of that kind of stuff. How does that work?
Miles, as a self-employed, especially, log miles. We actually recommend an app to keep track of your miles. And then the app is great because every time you get in your car and you drive down the street, it keeps track, and then you just basically tell it as a business or personal. It keeps exact time, etc., which is great for businesses for individuals to use. So that's what I would do with the car. Miles usually, on most cases, will yield a higher deduction than actual. And every year has changed. I think last year was 58 cents a mile, which, if you think about it, you've got 10,000 miles, 58 cents. It really adds up quick.
Right. Yeah, we will have to see what it comes out to be for next year. We look at that too. But actually, that's a great idea because we have people use miles, even like in personal injury cases when they're going to the doctor. There's all kinds of reasons to track miles. Do you know, is there any app off the top of your head that you think works pretty well that you like to use?
Yeah, actually, I use Mile IQ, and we actually give all our clients, I have a code for a 10% discount on the use of it. It's around $50 or $56 a year. And we actually got a discount for all our clients, which I can share with you if you'd like me to at any time.
Okay. That's an awesome tip. What else for business owners besides the stuff we've talked about? I guess that we were talking a little bit about real estate. How about other tax tips for business owners, whether it's just for 2020 or the mistakes you see people making that you wish they knew? Yeah.
Some of the mistakes that I see is definitely qualified help, understanding the tax laws. A lot of times I am seeing a lot of people with their books just do not make sense, and they really don't. That's
right. No, you're right.
They just don't make sense. And another thing is there are specific requirements depending on the amount of income. And that's why some of these tax returns get more expensive. Once a business makes in gross revenues and combined with assets over $250,000, a balance sheet has to be prepared. And that is not happening. No balance sheets are being prepared. They're just showing up without it. And as you grow, you make more income, more mistakes, you're likely to be audited, and this is going to be it's just very stressful. The amount of paperwork that needs to get pulled out. That is what I'm seeing a lot of. The compliance is weak, and if I start with that, I cannot even imagine some of the things that they may not be doing correctly. Categorizing expenses is an issue. Keep in mind that every time you have a tax return, you have a code. This code tells the IRS you are this type of business. Well, they have a specific type of, they recognize your business, and they expect you to have certain expenses in certain categories. So if you're totally misclassifying the categories for your type of business, this is going to cause you an audit. And the two audits that I'm having right now are self-employed individuals who totally miscategorized their expenses. They just, this is important. And this is something that if you need to get the guide with. You need to get the right bookkeeping services to be able to come up with the right tax return. That's what I see mainly with some of these businesses, and they're losing on a lot of possible credits or write-offs that you're entitled to.
Sonia, this is all really great information, both for people and for businesses. On the way out here, as we're almost out of time, I want to make sure you have a chance to let people know where they can find you. Of course, you've been in Orlando for a long time. Where can they find you?
Sure. My website is cpaaccounting.biz. Our office number is 407-382-6658.
All right, that is where they can find you, and that's going to do it for this edition of Laying Down the Law. Keep in mind, it is presented by the Orlando Law Group. The answers given on this show do not constitute as legal advice and do not create an attorney-client relationship. For legal advice, you can, of course, call our friends at the Orlando Law Group's office at 407-512-4394. Thanks to Sonia for joining us these past couple of shows. For Jennifer Englert, I'm Nick Runowitz. We will talk to you next week right here on WDBO.